the sister arc in Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai finally comes to a close in just 2 episodes with episode 10. So let's wrap up Nodoka's arc. So we left off the previous episode with Sakuta opening up the box that was in the cabinet in Mai's apartment, which she said not to open up. And you see there's a box in there. You see the contents. We don't see the contents of the box, but Sakuta does, and he just says, "I wish Didi's sister would make up already." And so that's how this episode begins. This episode, as kind of like the previous episode, was a little bit slower paced, but I feel that actually was good for the characters, especially Nodoka, because you see all these little interactions she has with Sakuta and how much of a support he really is to her. Granted, it's probably because she looks like Mai, but helping her with her insecurities and being there when, in one of the part of the episode where she does the commercial successfully. So it's really interesting that they of how their relationship develops. That it's not a one due to romance, but it shows that she can trust him and that he's very trustworthy, which we've seen with all the other girls in the previous arcs. And they actually have a really interesting moment where Nodoka asks Sakuta if he hates his parents, or loves them, or finds them annoying, or cares for them at all, and he says like all of the above. And we find out, actually I don't know if I think we were told before actually, but either way he talks about how his mom didn't want to accept the fact that him and Kaede were injured due to adolescent syndrome, and so she was hospitalized, and then their father went to stay by her side, leaving him and Kaede alone. It doesn't go into specifics as to if she's like in the mental hospital or anything like that. I would think it'd be that, because I don't think she's physically being hurt, but again, doesn't go too much into detail into that. We actually do get to see though him meet up with his father, and they kind of have like an awkward meeting just because I don't think they talk too much. And he just asks a really interesting question. He just asks his dad how it feels like to be a parent, and his dad freaks out. "Oh, are you a parent already?" Like, no, that's not what I mean. I just want to just ask you how you felt. And I think he just wants to get some understanding of his mom, and understanding of why she reacted the way that she did. And he just simply asks, or simply answers, when you become a parent, you'll know how it's like. That's the only way that you can understand, because words won't do anything for them. And then in this episode, one thing that was really cool is you just find out how amazing Mai is. Because remember, she said in the beginning of the previous episode that she doesn't dance, she doesn't sing. That's not her forte. And in that episode, you saw her, training and all that. And then this is you see the fruits of her labors, and it is freaking amazing. Like, she is dancing great, but the thing that made it epic was they're doing a song, and one of the girls in the group trips and falls, and as she's falling, she like lets go of the mic, and it kind of goes up in the air, and Mai just goes up and just grabs it, and it just and then sings the part that the girl that fell was supposed to be singing, and just kind of singing it, and then passes it back to the mic like it was nothing, like it was part of the show. It was really interesting how they did that. It was awesome to see. And you have Nodoka who sees that and just realizes just how amazing Mai is, and just how much effort she's putting in to being Nodoka. And it pays off, because in their idol group, I guess a different idol is chosen based on I don't know what, but it's chosen to be like the featured idol, the main idol in the songs. And this is the first time that Nodoka is chosen, but really it was Mai, of all the stuff that she was doing, in the time that she has been Nodoka. And this actually really upsets Nodoka to the point that she basically wants to take her life. She goes into the ocean and wants to drown, and Sakura tells him, don't do that. And she's like, why? Like, life would be better without me. I should just drown. It was funny because that's not funny, but what was interesting is I was trying to understand, like, wait, if she kills herself, then Mai's gone. Her body's there, and it's just So technically, Mai would be stuck in Nodoka's body. That's what I thought. But obviously, that's not the case. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. So Sakuta just grabs her and comforts her because they have this tender moment where they're holding hands in the taxi. And he shows Nodoka the box that has all these letters that she sent to Mai, and really showing that Mai lied about saying that I hate you or that I dislike you, that she actually really cherishes all the support that Nodoka has given Mai all throughout the years, to the point where before, where she hated doing all this stuff that her parents wanted to do, that because of Nodoka's letters, she actually enjoyed doing all these things and just really cherishes her little sister. And basically, Nodoka comes to a realization that she doesn't want to be like Mai. She wants to be her own person. She wants to be famous and be great in her own way and not be compared to her sister. And they have this tender embrace, really loving embrace. And then this is what happened. This was what kind of threw me off. Is instead of I thought their consciousness changed bodies, but it wasn't. Their actual bodies physically changed when they're hugging. And so Mai is back to looking as Mai, but she's in the spot where Nodoka was, and vice versa. And you'll see the picture on screen of what I'm talking about. So they switch back and everything goes well, but it was just the weirdest thing, because that's not what I thought happened. I thought that their consciousness switched bodies, but Futaba at the end of the episode actually gives an explanation of what exactly happened, and is what she said before with what happened with her and the other Futaba, which was that this was due to the quantum teleportation. That there's this blueprint that Nodoka had of Mai, and with that blueprint, she changed the physical appearance of her body to mimic what Mai's was. And Sakuta was, well, if that's the case, then why did Mai turn to Nodoka? And they don't go into much detail, but she says, well, let's consider the fact that maybe Mai was also jealous of her as well, in one aspect or another. And that's kind of what the episode concludes, is with that question, which it doesn't dive too much into it, and there could be many different things in it. It could be that, just the idol group itself, or the way that her life was. I don't know. I don't really have an idea of why she would be jealous, aside from the fact that she wasn't always in the spotlight, wasn't always pressured to be great. But then again, Nodoka was always pressured, or always was compared to Mai. So I don't know where the jealousy comes from that Futaba is suggesting. But I mean, we'll have to hopefully gets revealed as well, and not just a lingering question that never gets answered. But anyway, the episode finally ends with Mai getting information from, I believe it's her publicist, where the public is made known through a news source that she is in a relationship with Sakuta, which the picture, I believe it looks like it's when when Nodoka was looking like Mai. And then it ends there. And I thought that the preview for next week was going to be about his first love, but no, it's going to be about Kaede, and which was really interesting, but I guess kind of foreshadowed, because earlier in the episode you see her trying on the school uniform, and in the preview you see her with other clothes as well, and it's called the Kaede Quest or something like that. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know what they're gonna. I think the last 3 episodes are gonna be involving Kaede and also this scandal that's happening with Mai, and they're not gonna focus on anything else with Makinohara. I think they're gonna leave that to the anime film that's gonna come out next year, but I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, if they end with Kaede, I think that should be really nice, because they can finally get that resolved, and then Sakuta and Mai can focus on the final arc, or in my opinion, what should be the final arc, which is involving Shoko Makinohara. So let me know what you think of this episode. I thought it was really great. Again, it was more slow paced, but making it slow, I think helped not drag out, but help us understand more the relationship of Nodoka and Mai in the short time that we have with them. So let me know what you thought about it, and if you want to hear more, just listen to our podcast, which is on Podomatic.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and obviously this channel. So this is David the Smash Fan, and I'm out.